Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my next Three Houses post discussion. And I got Zev joining me this time.
Ayo.
All right, so Zev, I got 21 questions ready, and let's just get into this.
Haley?
All right, so question one: Who is your favorite character in Three Houses?
We've memed about this a lot on the channel, I feel like, but I have three.
Give-
One for each house. Technically, since there's four houses now, I guess I have four.
Yeah, and I already know who the fourth house person is, but don't worry, I already got like a question for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
right.
just overall favorite. Just overall favorite.
Base game overall favorite is a three-way tie between Marianne, Mercedes, and Petra.
All right, which house is your favorite? Yeah, this is a tough question.
Yeah, I've played through this game literally almost 100 times.
Yeah, I know. I've seen your hours. Like, you know how like with Nintendo Switch Online, you can like see how many hours someone has played a game of.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me see. I'm just gonna tell you this right now. So you have in total 265 hours.
Yeah, that's on one profile. On my other profile, I have close to 200 again as well.
Yeah, you want to know what's worse, Zev? You actually don't beat Alex in the turn. Alex has the highest record of how many of hours he's second into the game.
How many hours does he have in the game now?
505.
I'm getting close. Between my two profiles, I'm pretty fucking close.
Yeah, but Corns has 240, and I have the least amount of hours with like 220 on my other profile.
Yeah, so okay, 100 playthroughs is a bit ridiculous, but I know I've done at least 10 playthroughs for each house. So I've done a minimum of 30. I want to say I've done a maximum of between like 60 and 90. I play this game a lot, and honestly, my overall favorite house, just based on character distribution, would be the Golden Deer.
Fear the Deer.
Because, yeah, the Golden Deer is one of my favorite houses because character distribution, not necessarily like character, but like unit distribution and what any particular unit is naturally good at. Golden Deer kind of has like the best spread in my opinion, while Black Eagles has kind of like the medium and Blue Lions is second best, if that makes any sense. So I'd have to say, just for the character distribution and endgame content, Golden Deer.
Yeah.
Because the Golden Deer is the only route that answers all the fucking questions.
Yeah, like Blue Lions, like I feel like they finished that route first when it looks like they finished that route first in terms of like story.
Yeah, the only thing wrong, literally the only thing wrong with Blue Lions, in my opinion, is that they don't answer the question of what happened to those who slithered in the dark.
Well, I mean, like, you know, Arendelle died, so like that's the only like thing, and like their higher ups also died, so it's like it doesn't need to be answered. But I mean, like, I understand.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be answered, but they didn't even try to address it either. So it's kind of like I get Arendelle died, and Arendelle was Solomon or whatever the fuck his name was. Dallas.
Thalis, however you say your name. Yeah.
Whatever. Point is, they didn't really like necessarily answer the question. We just know that since Arendelle was Talez, they're essentially disbanded, but like that doesn't answer the question of like Nemesis or anything else.
Yeah. If you're going for like story, I feel like on like the Avatar, I feel like Golden Deer. Don't go Silver Snow. Whatever you do not go Silver Snow.
I disagree. Whatever you do, don't go Edelgard's route.
That too.
It's not needed. Silver Snow is arguably one of my more favorite routes.
Really?
Only because
it's just Golden Deer with one less chapter.
The only thing that okay. Quick little side trail, and we can get back to the question there. Golden Deer and Blue Lions are by far my two favorite routes. The only reason why Silver Snow beats out Edelgard's route is because it answers questions and it doesn't leave any cliffhangers.
Yeah,
it
doesn't
answer the question about Nemesis, but you do get to defeat those who slither in dark. And on top of it, one of my personal favorite things, to an extent, is being able to kill Rhea, because she goes fucking crazy and insane.
You
So
can
I
do
enjoy
that
it.
in Black Eagles regardless of which route you go.
Yeah, but we're not going to talk about Crimson Moon or
Right,
whatever.
Chris.
I don't care about the Black Eagle route. Like,
Obviously,
it's
you can't even
nice.
get the route right.
Yeah.
Crimson.
Anyways, like, and don't get me wrong, it's not because I'm just like on the fanboy train of hating Edelgard or
No, I
whatever.
know
It's
you're
just the
very
route wasn't done.
No, I know you're very apathetic when it comes to Edelgard's route.
Yeah, I like the route, but at the same time, there's just so much wrong with it.
Yeah.
And they should have added a lot more content to Edelgard's route. I don't care who you are. That's what they should have done. Period.
So, Golden Deer is your favorite. Just
Golden Deer. Yep.
Okay. So, question 3, and honestly, I will not be surprised by this, but what is your favorite pre-time skip design? Pre-time skip.
Pre-time skip. Oh shit. I might actually have to Google if I can. No, I think my favorite pre-time skip design is Marianne. Honestly,
Okay.
either Marianne or what's her name? How am I for? Oh wait, no, we're not including DLC characters. Never mind. Go ahead. Yeah, pre-time skip would be Marianne.
Okay. No, you can actually include DLC characters for this question.
Okay, well, if not Marianne, then it would be Happy.
Okay. What is your favorite post-time skip design?
Tie between Petra and Happy again.
Okay.
They're just so good.
Which house layer do you like the most?
Overall, I would say Dimitri because you probably get the most character development and character growth out of Dimitri.
By the way, I should also add this. You can include Yuri since he technically is the leader of a house.
Yeah, I would, but we actually don't get like a lot of anything with him. Even in the DLC, you kind of don't get like character development. It's more just like setting up the character.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't include him. With
Okay.
Just personal preference. I personally wouldn't try to include him in that. Overall, I would say Dimitri because character development and like character growth, but alongside that, I would also say Claude because even though you don't get like necessarily a lot of character growth with Claude, Claude definitely stays like true to his core and true to just who he is as a person naturally. So it would be a toss up between Dimitri and Claude. And just to make sure I don't get people angry at me in the comments. It's not that I don't like Edelgard. It's just that Dimitri and Claude were better, honestly, in my opinion, better written.
Yeah, you gotta address that.
Yeah, I don't hate Edelgard. Just Claude and Dimitri were written better, in my opinion.
All right. So, question 6: what is your opinion on Byleth?
See, that's tough. And it might be a long answer. The problem with literally the only problem I have with Byleth is you're forced to choose like dialogue options and make choices
that don't really matter,
aren't voiced and don't necessarily matter. But at the same time, it's also really nice and refreshing to not have like don't get me wrong, Three Houses definitely revolves around Byleth to an extent, but it's not like Fate's Awakening era.
Corn 2.0.
Yeah, it's not Fate's Awakening era to where they just solely revolve around the main character. I have actually done a playthrough where I've for all 4 routes where I didn't use Byleth at all, and I just used all my other characters on, I think it was either hard or maddening mode, and it was relatively like not as much challenging as I thought it'd be. I literally was just missing a sword master essentially, so it wasn't that big of a deal to me. So it's nice that he's versatile. It's nice that Byleth has like, they both have like a very strict role, but at the same time, like it's better than Fate's Awakening, but I still think they're not quite there to getting the avatar to what it should be. Like, I feel like there's a lot of work to make for the avatar or the MU character, but it's not. This was definitely one of the best iterations we've had.
Mm-hmm.
The only one that I'd say would come close is Robin, and that's because even though he was very integral and the story kind of mostly revolved around him, it wasn't Robin focused at the same time.
Yeah, but well, like even like the developers like said that Robin was meant to be like a second protagonist or like even a side character for the main character.
And they kind of failed that. They kind of succeeded at that. It was kind of this weird, like, they did a great job, but they didn't achieve their goal. So it was kind of like this weird succeed fail thing. But Robin was up until Three Houses, Robin was the only good form of a my unit that I've seen in Fire Emblem. The only exception being Fire Emblem 7
With
because
Mark.
Yeah, because it was natural just to forget about Mark to unless Eliwood and Hector were directing their faces at you.
Yeah.
Or a certain character mentioned Mark's name, but until then, it was just kind of like you were following the story of Eliwood or Hector, depending which route you went, and you just kind of moved on from there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Like
The
I don't
only
know,
good
like I don't know if you've played FE12, like with Chris, like the main.
I
like-
forgot about FE12.
Yeah, so I don't know if you want to include if you're. I didn't know if you were like including him.
I wasn't because I forgot it existed. I haven't played it in a hot minute, so I'm not sure I can actually remember everything about FE12.
No, it's alright. Like if you like, it's like
Shit.
it's basically the same thing with Robin.
See, and that's not bad. So like Chris, I mean, realistically, Chris and Robin were done well. They weren't the main characters yet. They weren't necessarily completely side characters, which is done well. So I guess overall, Byleth was good. It wasn't necessarily a horribly written my unit. It was definitely better than the Fates Awakening era. I just wish we got more out of it, out of both Byleth and just like the story in general when it came to Byleth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no,
I don't know how to.
No, I agree.
Don't know
with
how
you.
to word that.
All right. So, what do you think of the new game plus feature in Three Houses?
I think I'll put it this way: for new players to Fire Emblem series who want to try maddening mode but aren't ready for the bullshit that maddening can be,
Oh yeah.
it's great. Also, having like the statues be the only thing that your renown's really used for up until some DLC that came out, made it worth doing New Game Plus, because the only thing you were really getting from New Game Plus, besides spending renown on making your characters better, which you can completely ignore and just say fuck it, and just focus your renown on the statue, it doesn't change much. Honestly, like New Game Plus didn't change a lot until the new DLC came out and it gave you more options to spend your renown on.
Mm-hmm.
But at first it was pretty great. You just spent your renown on statues and then you replayed the story or did a different story. And if you wanted to cheat and recruit a character hella early, like I did on my most recent playthrough, it's simplistic, easy to do, and it only costs like 800, which isn't that bad. After the DLC, it got better because you had more stuff to spend all your renown on, especially if you're playing the game like we do and do so many games that can carry renown over and over and over. It gave you the option to spend the renown, but at the same time, it did. I feel like it cheated a little bit doing a New Game Plus on Maddening mode. Even when I set rules for myself, like the only thing I could spend renown on was the statues if they weren't complete, or like the Abyss seals to try out the new classes. So it was kind of, I definitely think it's a good idea. It just needs a little bit more refinement.
Okay. So, what map / chapter did you like the most?
Oh shit.
Yeah, I know this is a very hard question because, like, even though Three Houses reuses a lot of maps, it's hard to like name the exact map.
Yeah, I would say just flat out point blank, one of the most memorable maps I have in Three Houses is the final chapter of Golden Deer, where you fight Nemesis.
Oh man, I
and
love that
the
chapter.
12 apostles or whatever the hell they're called.
Dead Lords? No, wait, that's...
I don't remember what they're called. All I remember is that
10
chapter.
elites. 10 elites. That's
10
what
elites, thank you. 12 apostles, jeez, I'm tired. No, that was probably one of the more memorable maps because just you had essentially 11 bosses, and it's not, especially on maddening mode, it's not like the other elites besides Nemesis were just pushovers, or just like random enemy units either. Especially since they had like the dark versions of all their crest weapons, so it's just like, oh shit,
Yeah.
all right, this is actually kind of difficult. Okay. So yeah, I would say the most memorable one is the Nemesis chapter. I don't know if it would be considered my favorite, but I'd have to do another playthrough of all 4 routes to remember all the maps, and I'm not going to be able to do that within an hour.
Yeah. All right, and I don't even know why I'm asking this question, but have you beaten the game on Maddening without New Game Plus? And if you did, which house did you do it on?
I've beaten the game 8 times on Maddening, both with and without New Game Plus.
So 60 in total, but which did you do on first?
No. 8 in total.
So 4 playthroughs each with New Game, 2 for each house.
2 for each house, 1 with New Game, 1 without.
All right, what was the first one you did, and which route?
Shit. It might have been Silver Snow.
Okay.
I think it was Silver Snow, yeah. And the only reason why I remember it being Silver Snow is because yeah. So what I've been doing is playing, like every time I do a new set of 4 playthroughs, I start on one route and then it's a pattern thing. So my first playthrough I've ever did, I started on Silver Snow, I think, Blue Lion, Golden Deer, Crimson, whatever, Black Eagles. And then the next set of 4 playthroughs I did on the next difficulty was Black Eagles, Blue Lions, Golden Deer, Silver Snow, and then I just did that. That's just been my OCD thing that I've been doing. So the first time, no New Game Plus on Maddening was Silver Snow. Recruited everybody, and all I remember is Petra and Felix carried my ass along with Byleth and I think who else carried? I think nope, it was just those 3. Didn't lose anybody though. No one died, so.
All right.
My OCD when it comes to Fire Emblem is bottom line: no one dies. Keep everybody alive.
Yeah, I mean that's what I feel like everyone tries to do.
But it's so bad. If I ran, like, I remember there was one time I ran out of time or...
Divine Pulses.
Yeah, Divine Pulses, and Felix still ended up dying. I just restarted the entire chapter.
Oh,
I
man.
closed my Switch and then restarted. And it was right at the boss, too. Shit.
Alright. So, what is your favorite DLC character? Or who is your favorite DLC character?
Happy.
Okay.
No questions asked. Happy's design and her character was written really well.
I love Happy, and I love how she, like, gives, like, nicknames to, like, Ash and Dimitri.
Oh, yeah, she gives nicknames to everybody that she supports.
She's basically how I wish, like, Dorothea would give nicknames. Like, she doesn't really, like, give, like, she gives, like, pet names, I feel.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a difference in the nicknames that the 2 characters give, but Happy was just, she was written really well. The only second close DLC character would probably be Yuri, because he was also written really well.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, like, I love, like, what was, oh my god, what was Happy's nickname for Ash? It was Freckles. Like, I just love, like, she gives, like, it's like Freckles, and then for Dimitri, oh my god, what was it? It was,
I don't remember Dimitri's, but I know Byleth was Chatterbox, and I thought that was a great, like, ironic nickname.
Yeah, because she doesn't, like, because, like, you know, well, Byleth doesn't talk that much to begin with. The thing is that we don't know Dimitri's last name until, or, not last name, or, what was it? Oh, wait, Didi. That was it, Didi.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I was cracking up when I saw that was his, like, nickname.
Yep, that was pretty great.
Yeah, the problem is we don't see it until, like, the end of the support conversation, so, like, that was really annoying.
I mean, yeah, but it also added a lot to that support conversation. So.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, I just love your, like, nicknames.
Yeah.
All right. So, who is your least favorite DLC character?
Honestly, only by the smallest margin, it's Constance.
Oh, really? Okay.
The only reason why I dislike Constance is for literally the only reason is because that her, let's just say, weird quirk isn't explained until late. I can't remember if it's late into the DLC or late into the support conversations.
I think it might be
But
I know it's a mixture of both because she does explain it to Mercedes. Like,
she explains it to Mercedes, but there's only like a brief mentioning of it in the DLC, I think.
yeah, and
So
I know
this whole
that.
time,
Yeah, like Happy mentions it.
yeah, but like this whole time, you have a character that's honestly it has the weirdest quirk I've ever seen. Yet it's not explained until you dive deep into the support conversations, and that has annoyed me a little bit. And that's the
Yeah,
only reason why
and
she makes
plus,
sense.
like the DLC characters don't exactly have a whole lot of support conversations because
And on top of that, we don't like after getting the DLC, you don't really see a lot of character development with them. So it just kind of, like, which makes sense, but at the same time, it's like you're gonna give us 4 new characters, and the most character development you're gonna give us is like what 5 extra side chapters. Great.
yeah, not. I mean, like, trust me, we got a question for that, so we'll hold off your opinion for that. All right, so
And to be
who's
fair, they did add paralogs for each of the 4.
yeah? I mean, I kind of wish it was just one of each and not two. Like, not two. I wish it was like one for Yuri, one for Balthus, one for
Yeah,
Happy. The way they did the parallels, I gotta say, what felt a little bit lazy, but
a little bit,
I'm
but
not gonna complain. I mean, like the maps were
yeah.
fun when we played on them. All right, who is your least favorite character overall?
Honestly, Leone.
Oh wait, really? I was expecting Loren.
I
I was expecting Lorenz.
It's not Lawrence, it's not Ferdinand, although they are closely tied with Leone for different reasons. But no, it's Leone. The only like literally the base of her entire character is just Captain Geralt, and
Yeah, I
they
mean,
could have
like
done
with
so much more with her, and it was disappointing that they didn't.
I mean, there are times when she like speaks where every sentence isn't just Gerald's, but they're very few and far between. I mean, with Ferdinand and Lorenz, they are basic. They love talking about nobility, and I mean, like,
They're my least favorite characters because they're written well.
yeah,
Like
and
that's why I hate them, is because they did too good of a job writing their character, and they just became more of an annoyance to me than anything.
like I don't know if you like done a tea party with Leone. I would be shocked if you did. But if there's literally an option where if you like the 3 options, there's literally one called Gerald.
God
Like,
damn it.
I mean, don't get me wrong. And then with like Lorenz and Ferdinand, there's literally like an option where that's titled the true meaning of nobility, which I mean, I can't pardon them either for that.
Yeah, Ferdinand and Lawrence are only like very slightly better than Leone. It's if we were talking like percentiles, they're literally just 1 percentile apart. It's ridiculous.
All right, all right. So which house do you like the least? I feel like I already know this.
Um, Specifically, the house I like the least is Black Eagles, but only when you're choosing Edelgard's story.
Yep. Yeah, saw that coming.
Because, like, when you choose Edelgard's story, a lot of the characters just suddenly change. Like, and there's no kind of explanation. Like, maybe I'm thinking too much into just the core of the character, but, like, the only character that really makes sense that they continue following Edelgard after she starts a war is Petra, and that's just because her country is literally pretty much being threatened, and they need to, she needs to protect her people. But like, Caspar obviously is against it. Like Ferdinand's against it. Dorothea's against it. Bernadetta's against it. Like everybody except for Edelgard and Hubert is against the idea of war, and it makes no damn sense for them to go to war. And
yeah, because like the only like if you like play them side by side, like the characters all like they all like mention like how they follow the professor.
Yeah, and the only reason, like, okay, maybe I'm like being a little too, or not thinking too hard about the event that you choose Edelgard over Rhea, essentially, but even then, it doesn't make much sense for those characters to go to war, all because Edelgard is like trying to bring peace in her own way, which is the wrong way. But I don't want to go down that damn. I'm not going down that. I'm not going down that
All right.
discussion path. I'll be here for another hour.
Okay. All right. So, what is your least favorite pre-time skip design?
Least favorite pre-time skip. Fucking Lawrence. That hair pisses me off.
Oh my god, Alex said the exact same thing.
The fucking hair on Lawrence.
You guys
pisses me
hate
off.
his haircut. Don't get me wrong. Like I hate it too, but it's just that like I mean like if it's just for the haircut, like
It literally makes no damn sense.
oh my god.
I've played a lot of JRPGs. I've played a lot of RPGs. I've played a lot of MMORPGs. And nowhere have I seen a fucking hairstyle quite as goddamn ridiculous as Lawrence.
I've only seen one of a haircut like that in like an anime.
And even then, the anime made it look better because it actually has emotion. It just doesn't sit at this weird triangle shape on his face.
Yeah. All right. What is your least favorite post-time skip design?
Ooh, that's a toughie. Shit. I don't know if I have a least favorite post-time skip, honestly. I think... Well, if I had to choose one... I would say it's Edelgard's. And only because, like... I don't know. It's something to do with the hair she has in post-time skip. I'm not a fan. I can't explain why. Maybe it's the horns. Maybe it's the weird two side buns that she has. I don't know, but I don't like it.
All right.
Like it looks good literally everywhere else. Just the hair. Just nothing's right with the hair.
Yeah, I know. That's why I changed it to like that special ponytail that she has whenever I play New Game Plus.
Yup, I do too.
Yeah. I love that hair. It's like I love all like the house series' like special hair design.
Oh yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, like Clyde gets a bandana. Dimitri ties his hair back. Because like all their hair designs, except for Claw's, I feel like just looks messy. Which Dimitri, it's understandable.
I was about to say Dimitri's makes sense. Edelgard's is meh.
Yeah.
And Claude makes a reasonable enough sense that you wouldn't question it.
All right. So which house layer do you dislike the most?
Shit, we're gonna get into this topic, aren't we? I can't avoid it anymore.
You could just say
Edelgard.
Yeah, you can just say that and leave it.
No, I can't though, because it has nothing to do with like how she's written or her character. It's literally just she got mad at the church because let's be honest, the church is ruling the country in a really weird, probably not the best way. And something needs to be done, and this whole crest system's bullshit. It makes sense that you'd want to change it. But first of all, she spent who knows how many years, or maybe only that 1 year, with a bunch of students. And made friends, just to stab them back and start the war. And starting a war when Claude and Dimitri already dislike the system itself as well. Like... It would have made so much more sense if we would have had even a single cutscene that was like, Dimitri or Claude talking to Edelgard, and Edelgard being more stern in her need to have a war, even after that conversation. That would have made so much more sense as to why Edelgard had the war. After just I guess what I'm saying is if they would have added just that simple cutscene or a simple event where Edelgard talks to Claude and Dimitri and Byleth about what they think about the church, like how the country's ruled or whatever, or at what they think of the church, and they were all just honest with each other, it would have made much more sense for Edelgard to start the war then, in my opinion, than just straight up saying, fuck everybody, I need to be in the power. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's that critical point that we're missing where Edelgard is affirmative in her need to start a war with the church and unite the country. Like, that's the only reason why Edelgard's my least favorite. It's because we don't get that critical point where it makes sense as to why she would immediately go to war.
Yeah,
even with those who slither in the dark backing her and like trying to convince her it still would make more sense for her to talk to her friends.
Yeah.
And it, yeah.
All right. What is your least favorite map / chapter?
The
What?
Bernard, or no, excuse me, the Manuela and Hanneman fucking map.
Oh, okay.
That paralog map, I hate it with a goddamn passion.
Trust me, I'm
Because
mad.
Manuela always dies.
Yeah.
Every fucking time. Unless I make Ingrid, or unless I make 2 of my students and / or Byleth a flyer and I rush them over there, there is no way to save Manuela.
I feel like that chapter is impossible without a flyer unless you got rescue.
But even then,
It's so hard.
you have to move so close to Manuela for rescue to work unless you're using fucking... No, because not that many people get rescues. So, yeah.
Yeah, you got like Flame and I think... Actually, I think... No, Flame and...
It's Flane and Linhard, isn't it?
No, Linhard gets warped. Lysithea gets warped. I think it's literally...
There's one more who gets it. I know there is. It's Flame. It's not Mercedes. It's not Marianne. I don't think it's Annette. Maybe I'm crazy and there's only one. I thought there was 2.
No, I think there is 2. I just can't remember who gets it.
I can't either.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Alright, well, it doesn't matter. That map sucks. Trust me, when I answer this question, you're probably going to be surprised with my answer.
Yeah, probably.
Alright, so the next question. Is the DLC worth it?
Now that Ashen Wolves has come out, yes. Previously, no. Like, I bought the DLC pass right when it was only like $25 or whatever, right at the release of the game.
It's still $25.
Oh, okay. Well, I spent the money right at the beginning, right as the game dropped.
Yep, and you
then
got...
I had to wait for like 6 months to get the Ashen Wolves DLC. Everything else was trash. Like random outfits, random other bullshit wasn't worth it. The only thing worth it was getting the Ashen Wolf DLC. Even like the extra stat boosted items, the 4 items they give you from buying the DLC, wasn't worth it. Just now that Ashen Wolves came out, we have the 4 new characters, we have 4 new classes, and you got the whole side story for the Ashen Wolves. It's worth it. Otherwise, if Ashen Wolves didn't exist, it would have never been worth it, and I would have been angry and want my money back.
I gotta say though, like the items you do get from buying like the from beating the Ashen Wolves like side story is like 10,000 renown, the Chalice of Beginnings. That's so good.
Oh yeah, Chalice of Beginnings is kind of busted. It helped a lot on my last maddening run that I did.
It's helping me out so much right now.
Yeah.
All right, so what is your opinion on the Ashen Wolves?
Side story or just the house?
Like you can do both if you want to.
Okay. On the house alone, I actually really like it. The idea that there's this whole underground community that exists and thrives, because the church took them in, even though they are living in abyss and it's completely dark all the time and they can't come out too much, for whatever reason. I don't remember the exact reason. But the fact that the church was even like offering to help other people was dope. I like that. I know there was like some twist in the end that made it not as great as I'm making it out to be, but I still think that like that was a cool side of the church that you don't get to see too often. I think I wish there was just more characters. The only thing that I really wish was that aside from Yuri, Constance, Happy, and Baltus, we got 2 more characters. I feel like having 6 characters for that house instead of just a measly 4 would have made the whole experience a lot more better for the entirety of the Ashen Wolves. And being able to use pretty much just the Ashen Wolf house, since there's 6 of them versus the 4, would have been great.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why they only did 4 because they did the same thing with Echoes.
Yeah. But I wish there was just a little bit more, because one of the challenge runs that I want to do on all 3 difficulties with all 3 or all 4 routes that I've already completed 1 route on, I think, is to only use Ashen Wolves, Byleth, and the House Leader. Sounds relatively easy. that's just gonna get more difficult on the harder difficulty you go to, especially when I'm doing no new game plus in maddening mode. That's gonna be a fun challenge.
Oh man.
I don't know. I wish there was just a little bit more characters. Story wise, it was good. I just wish they would have gone a little bit more in depth. Like,
I mean, we do. I mean, like we do get to know like Violet's like a mother and name, and like we get to see what she looks like.
right, and that's great. I just wish they would have went a little bit more in depth. Maybe not necessarily with the story itself, but a little bit more in depth with like how Abyss came to be and why it's in the current state it is today. Like, we don't get a lot of
Yeah, we don't
information
get
about
that.
Abyss.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, hey, Abyss is here. This is why it's here. Let's move on.
Like the reason, like, and I mean, I feel like the side story. I mean, like, it feels like a bit weird. Like the way they started even feels weird. Like Claude just happens to find the hole.
Yeah, I mean, he was chasing somebody, but even then, it's like it. I don't know. I just wish there was more details, I guess.
Yeah, like I feel like the whole like Cinder Showers and like let's just be fair, Crimson Flower and Cinder Showers just need like a bit more information to them.
Honestly, a bit more details and maybe a few more chapters on both of them, and I wouldn't be complaining as much.
Cinder Showers, I was content with how many chapters they had. I mean, it was a side story.
Yeah, but that's the only reason why I wanted one more chapter was simply because, like, there's it, or maybe not necessarily one more chapter, but maybe a little bit more cutscenes or something where we get a little bit more information just about Abyss. Like,
Yeah, I mean, like they should have at least like it told us a bit more about it, but it's like how it came to be and like how did like form.
yeah, like instead of just giving like point A, point B, da 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 da, I wish there was a little bit more details as to why point A and point B happened in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally my only complaint about
All right.
Centered Shadows is not enough details.
All right. What is your favorite battalion?
Oh shit.
Yeah, I know this is a random curveball.
I don't use battalions a lot, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you
not
beat the
even one that gives
monsters?
I mean, I use them when they get to the monsters, but I don't care which ones as long as they're doing damage. Like, I think one of my favorite ones that I've discovered recently that existed was there was a mage core or something, and it hits like the 6 spaces in front of you. The one immediately in front, the one to your immediate left, the one to your immediate right, and then one space in front of all 3 of those.
Like resonating lightning or resonating flames or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. It was really fun for me to use that because I would just I remember one time I had Lysithea and Dorothea equipped with both of them, or both of them equipped with the same battalion, and then I had Lysithea use it. I found a way to kind of finagle Lysithea out of the way, and then I made Dorothea use it, and those 6 squares were gone in one shot. And then I had Byleth and like Felix or something with the exact same battalion doing the same thing on the backside of the immovable turtle, and all 9 squares were gone within the same turn, and I still had a bunch of units that were able to hit him down.
Oh, the fucking turtle.
The turtle is a pain in the ass.
The wind caller is worse on maddening, I will tell you that.
I disagree. I did
the
not
ambush
find
spawn
Wind Caller...
wyvern riders.
I didn't have a problem with them.
To be fair, I just blocked up their spawn points and then they stopped, but still, I hate that map.
Not that map is trash, but the wind caller for me was a lot easier than the turtle.
No, the boss itself is easy.
Not in the map. Not in the map. The boss, yeah. The boss itself, the wind caller was not as hard as the turtle.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because the turtle just had like ridiculous fucking defense and the wind caller doesn't. But
yeah.
God, dog.
Alright, final question. Is 3 Houses worth $60?
We're not even at a year old yet, so honestly I would say yes. Once it goes past a year old and it starts going down, and if it doesn't start going down in price, I would start questioning whether it's still worth it.
I mean, I think you can like pick up
a used copy's probably between 30 and 40, but like the point is the reason why I think currently, until we're past a year or more older, that it's still worth $60 is because you're getting 4 games in one. Because you get all 4 routes, the Cinder, or not Cinder Shadows, you get Blue Lions, 2 Black Eagles, and the Golden Deer. Essentially, those are 4 different games with very similar maps in the or pretty much the same maps in the beginning, but post-game content.
It shifts it
It
up a level.
differs. Yeah. You're essentially getting. Okay, maybe saying 4 games is a bit dramatic, but you do essentially get 4 stories, or you know what? Fuck it. You get 4 games in one. The DLC adds a really nice side story. Every time you go on one of the routes, you can switch up everything, because the one thing I hate about 3 houses, but one thing that's also kind of nice, is the 10 unit limit on most maps, if not all of them. I think there's one map that allows 11 and one map that allows 12. But
There's a couple of them 10. That do that, but no, but majority it is 10 units.
It's just, yeah, I don't know. I wasn't a fan of that, but to be 100% honest, it was relatively, I don't know. You get 4 games in one. You can customize it every damn playthrough, and
exactly.
It's good.
I love it.
Until it's a year old, I say it's fantastic, in my personal opinion.
Okay.
And it's worth it.
All right. That is all the questions, Zev. Thank you for answering them to the best of your ability. I feel like you did much better than the first. Like, to be fair, like I feel like you and I did much better than on the first discussion.
Oh yeah, a lot better.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, join us next time when I'll be having Cornerstone along for the discussion. And then after that, you guys will be asking me these questions with one personal question of your own.
Woohoo!
Yep, we'll be having the whole game together.
That'll be entertaining.
Yeah, we'll be getting along. We're gonna get along like a house on fire, and we all know how that all happens.
Yeah, we've already experienced that once or twice.
Oh yeah, definitely. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Take care of yourselves, and as always, have yourselves a damn good one. Bye.
Deuces.